A statement by the Ministry of International Relations and Cooperation says the disorder and incidents of disruption that occurred in some localities of Cuba on the 11th of July is of great concern. Executive Director of MIRCO, Ambassador Penda Nanda, in that statement, bemoans the disruptions in Cuba as taking place at a very complex time when Cuba is faced with the fight against COVID-19 pandemic and prolonged economic blockade. Government pleaded for continuous support for Cuba and her people, adding that the Cuban Revolution did not only give relief to its people, but to many others all over the world, including Africa and Namibia. Meanwhile, the Cuba Friendship Association's Cuban nationals in Namibia and sympathizers took to the streets of Windhoek at the weekend to condemn and reject what they termed an American-sponsored instigation of chaos and regime change in that country.
We heard what is happening in Cuba, and as Namibians, we need to come together, put our resources together so that we can see how we can come to the aid of our friend country.
Namibia says the events in Cuba is an attempt to divide the people of Cuba, create chaos and cause social disorder to justify an external intervention under the pretext of right to protect. Cuba's ambassador to Namibia says the situation in Cuba has since been normalized and the country is now concentrating on vaccinating its population with Cuban-made vaccines.
Today, Cuba is facing a very difficult time, not because only for the actions against Cuba coming from the United States, making a media in the network a war against Cuba to promote destabilization in our country. That's why today the war and Namibia is a stand with Cuba. I think that it's very important to fight and the support of Namibia against the blockade of the United States.
The Namibian government further warns the U.S. against interference in the internal affairs of Cuba. Daniel Nadu, NBC News, Windhoek.